Do you remember a few weeks ago, I think it was on a Sunday, we were looking into N8N. What is N8N? It is basically a tool, a software where you can build out a particular workflow to have it do different stuff, right? It can integrate with AI, it can integrate with God knows what. So let's throw this up here real quick. So remember I was saying on maybe Tuesday or maybe Sunday about building a workflow to automate the men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate podcast, right? So I just wanted to experiment with it, and guess what? Guess what? I did it yesterday. It's not perfect, but it was able to generate something. So it went from, and I'm going to show it to you, but it went from, and Junior, you might like this too, right? It went from I didn't have to do anything where I say, all right, on Fridays at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., start this script, right? Start this script. And it's going to kick off where it's going to go to get the data for the economic data for the week. It's going to parse it out, say, okay, what are the key data for in the US for the week? And then it's going to send the request to another API call to an AI. It says, all right, give me all the details. And then it says, all right, now you go and now you make it a podcast conversation going through all this stuff, right? So I just want to show it to you real quick. Where I kind of broke it a little bit, trying to get it even better. But you can have an idea of the way that it works, right? So let me go and show this to you real quick. Let me see. Let me get it smaller. No, it's good. All right. So here we are, right? The final, I think the numbers normally come out like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So it has a schedule trigger over here where it says kick it off on Fridays at 9 a.m. To go and gather the data. And then it goes, okay, now we're going to make an API call. I'm using Perplexity because Perplexity has current, up to date, like AI news answers and like information. So it goes to Perplexity to get a list of the data, and I say, all right, parse the different data into a list. So this is the API call to Perplexity, has the tokens stored in there. I'm saying what I want it to do, be precise. Where I'm asking for, what are the key economic, the key United States most important economic indicators released this past week, listed out in bullet form. So it does that for me, and then I'm passing information along. Then I say to put it in like a listed format. There we go here. And then I tell it to so now I say, all right, here's a podcast intro. This is really the outro. And then so basically all this stuff. So now it's looping over every single economic data. And it's looping over every single economic data. And it's generating. So I'm saying, all right, take this economic data. For example, let's say the jobless claims, right? Take that and pass it through and give me an explanation of it and break down what the news information is saying in a way that's easy to understand for young people, for people who don't understand the economy that well. Break it down, and then it goes through that, and it loops through it for every single data, and then it merges it into one, and then here is where it aggregates. It's broken right now, but it aggregates all the information to create a full podcast in the end. All right. And then here, it's supposed to connect here to generate the audio, where it's going to 11 Labs. It's using my voice in order to generate the audio. And then it finally uploads it to Google Drive. So if I get this to work correctly, it can do the whole end-to-end process, where I can even have it like upload. If I can get it to automatically render the video, it can even upload it to YouTube, ready to go and publish. Right. So you can have this running automatically on its own, like just cycling in and out on its own, where you don't have to have much human involvement. Let me show you this real quick, right? So let's say I wanted to YouTube. Let's say I wanted to upload a video, and I could use AI to generate the title, the description, all that stuff, right? And I don't even know all the settings that go with this, but basically it could do everything for me. Let me see. Look at that. So I can add my is it made for kids? Self-declared made for kids. I don't know, you can notify subscribers. Let's see what else you have. The description. All this stuff that you can set up, right? All this stuff. So you can actually have a full, almost like a full end-to-end process. I don't know if I can publish ad. Look at that. I can do a publish ad date where I wanted to, at what time I wanted to be live, be available to the public. Simple, like, so you can do a lot with this. You can do a lot with this, you know. And this is just something small. Like, I've seen some workflows that are huge, right? So just wanted to share that with you. Like, there's a lot that you can do with these tools. And I was like, what we did on that Sunday was I installed N8N. Right now it's running on my local host. That means it's running on my computer via Docker. You can sign up for it for free online and use that. You can use like a certain amount of it for free, but I have it running here on my computer, totally self-contained, so I'm not at risk for anybody to hack it or get my keys or anything like that. So I can easily put this running on some computer that's always on here, and every Friday, it would, like, once I get it to work every Friday, it can go and publish a new podcast talking about the economy, and then I can just listen to myself talk about stuff, right? You guys want to hear? All right, here we go. Here's a question. Do you guys want to hear a sample? I don't like the sample, but do you want to hear what it came up with? Let me know. Let me know. Do you guys want to hear what it came up with? I'm not crazy about it, but you can see the end results. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you want to hear a sample. Let's see here. Miss Freckles says, "Do it." All right, we'll do it. We only need one. All right, well, let's do it. Roxy says yes. All right, you guys are gonna laugh at it, but it's all fair. It is all fair. You guys are gonna laugh though, because I laughed at it. So I'm like, I don't like the tone of the voice, but that all comes up with the prompting. Okay, so here it is. All right, so make sure.
Nuts. Ayo, let's break down the Kansas Fed Manufacturing Index like it's a Friday night. All right, fam, picture this. You chillin' on a Friday night, catching up on some classic flicks, and your boy Craig is trying to figure out if that BBQ joint down the street is poppin' or just plain dry. This Kansas Fed Manufacturing Index is like that, but for the economy, specifically the manufacturing hustle in the 10th Federal Reserve District, which is kind of like the hood of the Midwest. Think Missouri to Oklahoma and a bit of New Mexico. Survey participants, who's in the game? So they survey about 300 factories in the area, kind of like having a squad of homies at a cookout. You need a good mix to keep things lively, some small, some big, and all different kinds of manufacturing styles. This way, the info they get is real and not just wishful thinking. Shakirwan. The composite index, what we're cooking. Now this index is like a 5-star recipe mixing together. 1, as production, how much stuff they pumping out. 2, new orders. Who's ordering more? Think of it like your crew wanting more wings for the party. 3, employment. How many people working? We talking jobs, baby.
Well, Junior just killed it for everybody. There we have it, Junior. Junior said he didn't want to hear it anymore. All right. anyways, but the reason I wanted to play it though is to show you that I can have a 90% hands off approach in getting all this data, and then I can just listen to myself talk about this data, and then I can push it out there. Um, so it's I think it is definitely important to play around with it. You get an idea, and as we get into the learning about RAG, you're gonna see how I come up with these ways to learn about it, like things that are just popping around, like, oh, how can I do this with this, and then you find a way, and then you start trying it out. So, and when I was trying this out, it gave me like it gave me all the things that I had to do, but then I had to like find ways to make modifications, workarounds, because sometimes what gives me the instructions is not always the most up to date. So that's how it goes, right? Anyways, um, actually, let me. I'm gonna let me go and do this. I want to do so based on what I was working on, right? Then I was like, well, let me see, because I was trying to do a two-person podcast. It was not easy at all. But but I did want to show you or have you hear doing it manually how it kind of sounds, right? Where getting the whole script generated, and then um going back and forth to have the conversation, right? This one had a little bit more manual intervention, which I'm still working on a way to get it to work completely. But it was pretty cool. Like, and imagine if you can have like it going back and forth, two, three people talking about whatever you want to talk about, right? So I'm gonna play this one as well, so you can hear it a little bit.
Man, this week was straight up wild. Between training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and building applications, I felt like I was really putting in that work. Just like when Ice Cube was trying to hustle in Friday, but instead of dodging Debo, I'm dodging bugs in the code.
Ha ha ha. I feel you on that. I spent a lot of time reading new design books and shaping up my skills as a product designer. It's like in ATL when they're trying to figure out the best hustle. But in my case, I'm just trying to design the best experience for users.
Exactly. And speaking of hustles, we've got some numbers to break down today that are just as important as them ice cream trucks rolling through the neighborhood.
Right? So what's on the agenda this week?
We got the initial jobless claims, the continuing jobless claims, and you know how important those numbers are to see who's out here looking for work, kind of like the homies trying to get their grind on.
For sure. And then there's the balance of trade. At a negative $140.5 billion. It's like being on the block with more expenses than you got coming in. Definitely not a good look.
So I'm just experimenting with stuff, right, to see how to put this together. But that's how you learn. That is how you learn. But I just want to share that with you, like so many different tools that like we looked at Lovable last week, last Tuesday, and then we looked at N8N that Sunday, and now just putting these tools together. So many different things that you can do, but you just have to give it a go, right? No one's going to teach it to you. No one's going to hold your hand. You just got to go out there and do it, right? Just got to go out there and do it.
People watch as the clock ticks by, but I'm the storm in the endless sky. I'll climb the mountain, no matter the slope. Fueled by hunger, fueled by hope.
They sit and watch as the clock just spins, but I'm out here chasing where it begins. I don't need luck, I don't need a sign, just a fire in my soul and a dream that's mine.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky.
I'm betting it all, no second glance. Got fire in my soul, I'll take the chance. No time for sitting, no time to stall. The world is spinning, I'll have it all.
They say the world just turns and waits, but I've got no time for those debates. The fire in my chest, it burns so bright. I'll take the dark and turn it to light. All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky. No retreat, no looking back. I'll carve my name on this beaten track. They'll say I dream too wild, too bold, but I'll write my story in lines of gold.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the skies. And touch the skies. No fear in losing, no time to doubt. Every whisper, I'll drown it out. I'll rise higher with every stride. The flame of passion, my